Alright guys, here we go. Well, this is a 2007 Honda Foreman 500 4x4. Actually redoing it. And the problem with this thing is it quit running. Now I haven't 100% figured out why. It has great compression. It's got new valves in it. I've already done that. Yeah, the only thing I can think of, it's actually a buddy of mine. He went off and he bought it from somebody. It quit running on them. I went through it and it had a bad valve. One of them was actually bent. I think it might have jumped time. From the top end, looking at it, I didn't see anything wrong with the top of the piston or anything like that. It does have compression now. Everything else perfectly. Still no start. So the only thing I can think of, which I've never seen a video of it or anything like that ever, is the timing. Which timing is right here. It's right behind this cover right here. The timing chain is only about that long from the tip of my the tip of my middle finger to into my thumb. It's only about that much. But there's a big possibility it could have jumped time. And that's what I'm finding out now. But the only thing with these Honda Foreman 500s is they're actually a pain in the butt, to tell you the truth. Honda was, I don't know what they were thinking when they built these things. Very odd, not much room. And in order for you to do a lot of things, you have to pull the motor.
Then I'm gonna go get the bait too.
Look at the top end. I mean, in order to pull these motors, you have to pull the top end apart in order to you can get it off. But I mean, your first step you gotta do is you gotta go through and unplug these wires, which there are quite a bit of them. There's 3 right here, just in this spot. Then you have a ground wire. And then over here on this side, you got this wire here, this one, which that goes to the starter. And there's also another wire that plugs in down there as well. And you got this wire that's right here that you have to unplug from it all. You have to unplug your oil cooling lines, which there's 2 of those. You have to undo those. You have to pull all your motor mount bolts. You have to undo your hot from your starter. You see right here. To undo that, you have to pull your exhaust. You got to pull your carburetor. Yeah, make sure you got everything unplugged. And on the bottom, right on there, you have to undo that. This cable. And it hooks up right back up here. I don't know if you can see that. Somewhere, yeah, right up there. You have to undo it from up there in order to even get it off. Then on top of that, in order to be able to get your motor free, this is the fun part, is your front end. It's your front differential assembly. You have to completely unbolt that. Your front mount up here in the front catches, so you ain't able to pull the drive shaft off of the motor, the front drive shaft. So you have to undo the bracket after undoing this whole thing. You have to undo your bracket, and you just swing your bracket outwards. Then you have to grab it and you have to pull it forwards up to you. And then you gotta go over here, and this slides. You take it and you gotta push it inwards. They do press it, and you gotta take a good amount of force. And you gotta slide it off here. Just watch, don't you lose or mess up your rubber seal you got here. ain't really a good thing. It lets dirt, water, everything get in there if you do. On top of that, you're gonna have to pull this drive shaft out, because no matter what you do, this right here is gonna be in your way when you go to pull the motor out. See, I already redone this motor mount here. There's an upper motor mount up there that connects in right here, and it bolts up to the back, to the front of the motor, which this will be the front, and bolt it from up there. And after you do that, you have to pull this off, loosen up the Phillips head screwdriver, just make sure you get all the dirt out of it, or else you can end up stripping it, and then you're even more messed up. There's also another ground wire, which this is it right here. You have to pull that as well. That's the grounding for your there towards your battery. That's your ground ferment. It grounds to the motor as well. Then you have to slide this boot off. You have to slide the motor to your left if you're on the hand decided like this. For on this side, you have to pull the engine that way, and so that shaft will pop out of there. And then on top here, you got these two bolts here. These two. There's two back here. You gotta undo these ones here, and you gotta slide this off. After you do that, there's two nuts inside of here, right actually about where my fingers are at right now. You have to undo those. You have to undo these two, and you have to undo this one. Then you can pull this whole assembly, the whole head, completely off. Because if you don't do it, you're not going to clear that space to pull this motor out. There's just not enough room whatsoever, because you still have to pick it up enough so you're not just catching on this bracket the whole time. They are a pain in the butt. But yeah, no matter what on this thing, there's no way around it. I mean, I can see. You know, the motor is not completely mounted on. The power is not hooked up to it, so you can't just hit the button and try to start it, because everything's undone. There's nothing running to it. But pull. You hear compression. Still, to me, it seems like there's a lot of compression to go into the exhaust, which that's still kind of odd to me. But yeah, but that's about it with all you would have to do in order to get these motors out. They are a pain. Then you would have to split the case. Do the timing chain. And then you're gonna have to replace this gasket that's right here. You can actually see the gasket. So the whole top end, I've completely redone it. I mean, there's new gaskets and everything else, and now I gotta pull it apart. So that's a pain. And after you get them bolts from over there out, there are two more on this side where the starter's at. And those two more are right here. You will fight with it to get it off if you forgot about removing the bolts, because it just will not budge. But yeah, in order to do it, you have to pull from here up, off, so the rest of it will clear. And then these things are pretty heavy. Yeah. But this is my project I'm doing now. And actually, I'm more than just that project I'm working on. These ones over here are mine. That's a 1985 Honda ATC 110 three-wheeler. My Banjo 70 dirt bike with a 110 ATC motor. My ATC 70. My 125M 85, 83. That's 84 of 85 motor on that. I have a 1983 200S sitting right there. Needs to be finished, which I will get to that when I get my other ones going that I want to get going. I'll finish that one and finish my one back there. Then I got another 110 over there. I stripped it. That's motor. Actually, it's the motor that goes to it. I pulled it off. That's the old Bayou. It's an 87. Over here, this is a 1985 frame, but that's a 1983 185S motor they got in there. The frame is actually right over there. Frame is all in extremely bad shape. Custom exhaust. That's actually a car exhaust. I got to re-weld the bracket back on it. Got busted off on me. The old lady ran into the back of me and busted my bracket clean off of this thing. Right there's where it goes. Not bad. Not original tires. But for some reason this thing has stopped running on me as well. I haven't figured it out yet. It's got tons of compression, clean carburetor, timing's correct, it's got a spark perfectly. But I will get to that. That's most likely going to be an easy fix for me. And I got that little thing over there. That's one of those Chinese 50cc quads daughters. It's all my crazy tires. This is actually a Chinese quad 110 electric start automatic motor. I got the original 70 motor, the US 90 motor down there. Original rear plastics for the 70, which I'm upgrading. Probably would never use those things again. Maybe. It all depends. Alrighty guys, well, that's my horde.
Who are you talking
There's all the plastics and everything. It's just got one box that's actually on them and they're just kind of sitting there. That seat, everything. Gas tank.